Every battle begins in the mind, long before the first move is made, before the first word is spoken, before anyone realizes that a war has begun. The truly powerful understand this. They know that control is not taken through strength, but through perception. The art of winning without fighting is the essence of mental warfare. Sun Tzu taught most people live in patterns. They wake, act, and think the same way every day. Predictability is comfort, it's also vulnerability. A mind that repeats itself is easy to read, easy to manipulate. The strategist learns these cycles, anticipates reactions, and subtly guides them towards self-destruction. The greatest trap is the one an opponent builds for himself. To control another's behavior, you must understand the rhythm of their fears, the tempo of their needs. Once known, you can lead them anywhere. The seventh law: silence is domination. In an age of noise, silence is unnerving. It forces others to fill the void with their assumptions, fears, and projections. The one who speaks less often appears to know more. The one who doesn't rush to justify or argue seems unshakable. Sun Tzu's warriors communicated through movement, not words. The same rule applies to the mind: discipline your tongue, and you discipline your reality. Words are weapons. Silence is strategy. The eighth law: destroy certainty. Confidence is a mask people wear to hide fear. When you remove their certainty, you expose the truth beneath. In negotiation, in relationships, in power struggles, create ambiguity. Make them question what they think they know about you, about the situation, about themselves. The confused mind hesitates, and hesitation is defeat. Mental warfare is not about being unpredictable, it's about being unreadable. The goal is to exist in a space others cannot define, while you see their every move clearly. The ninth law: use absence as presence. Sun Tzu warned that the invisible army strikes hardest. When you withdraw, you make others reveal their dependency. Your absence becomes a mirror, showing who panics, who plots, who remains loyal. The absence of a strong presence creates anxiety in weak minds. In life and in war, distance can be a blade sharper than confrontation. You control more by stepping back strategically than by standing at the front impulsively. Power is felt most when it's no longer seen. The 10th and final law: win before you begin. All mental warfare comes down to preparation. Sun Tzu said, "Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win." The mind is the war room. Every outcome is decided long before it plays out. The strategist visualizes every move, every scenario, every failure, until nothing surprises him. To win before you begin is to become immune to chaos. You've already walked through every fire in your mind, so nothing outside can burn you. These laws are not gentle. They are precise, ruthless, and cold because reality is. Life rewards those who observe patterns, discipline emotion, and act only when the moment demands. The weak wait for peace. The wise use peace to prepare for war. In mental warfare, you are both general and soldier, observer and manipulator. Every thought you allow, every fear you feed, every silence you break has a cost. The key is to remain unseen yet omnipresent, to lead without shouting, to win without fighting. The modern world calls for quiet dominance, the kind built from clarity, restraint, and unwavering purpose. Those who master these 10 laws no longer compete, they control. Because the greatest victories will never be recorded on the battlefield, but inside the human mind, where wars never truly end. Power begins when perception bends. Those who understand how minds move can command entire worlds without raising a voice. Sun Tzu's wisdom was not born for the battlefield. It was born for human nature itself. Every negotiation, every conversation, every social dynamic hides the same architecture of control. In this second half, the 10 laws of mental warfare unfold into living reality. each one a blade forged for survival in a world built on illusion and psychological positioning. To grasp perception as power, you must first destroy the illusion that people see truth. They see only what their mind can process, filtered by emotion and bias. Sun Tzu understood that truth itself is irrelevant in war. Only perception matters. When you appear calm in chaos, others assume control. When you appear certain while others hesitate, they grant you authority. Power is never seized, it is perceived. Consider the leader who remains silent in meetings, observing while others rush to speak. When he finally speaks, his words carry weight not because they are wiser, but because silence framed them as decisive. Perception amplifies meaning. The mind seeks symbols of control, tone, posture, timing. The strategist learns to manipulate these signals deliberately. Even weakness can be transformed into strength if displayed correctly. A broken voice may convey humility. A pause can suggest depth. An unspoken thought can command curiosity. Perception is not what you project. It's what others interpret. The key is to shape their interpretation with precision. But shaping perception is impossible without emotional discipline. The second law. The battlefield of emotion is where most people lose themselves. Anger exposes weakness. Pride blinds judgment. Guilt bends decisions. Every manipulator understands this. Provoke emotion, and you control the mind. Sun Tzu's teachings on balance and inner stillness were not poetic, they were tactical. To govern your emotional responses is to become unpredictable. The disciplined strategist may feel anger but does not display it, may feel fear but moves through it without hesitation. This calm terrifies others, it breaks their rhythm. In daily life, emotional control is not detachment, it's direction. When someone insults you, your reaction reveals who owns your mind. When you respond strategically, you reclaim that ownership. The master of mental warfare is not cold. He is intentional. His emotions serve his strategy, never the other way around. The third law, control of information, is the skeleton of power. Every empire, political, corporate, or personal, rises or falls by its secrets. Knowledge is leverage, and the one who holds it quietly wields invisible dominance. Sun Tzu's spies were not soldiers. They were collectors of silence. He knew that those who know what others do not can rewrite reality itself. In the modern world, information is exposure. The more you reveal about your goals, your insecurities, or your next move, the more predictable you become. People who overshare trade mystery for comfort, control for validation. The strategist, however, uses ambiguity like armor. He allows fragments of truth to leak, enough to guide perception, never enough to reveal the full plan. A controlled truth is more powerful than a concealed lie. When people cannot read you, they fear you. Fear is the currency of respect in any hierarchy. Not the fear of harm, but the fear of unpredictability. The unexplainable commands reverence because it cannot be manipulated. Control the narrative and you control the emotional weather of those around you. Then comes the fourth law, turn conflict into calculation. The average person meets conflict with emotion. The strategist meets it with pattern recognition. To calculate under pressure is to weaponize stillness. Sun Tzu wrote, "He who is prudent and lies in wait for an enemy who is not, will be victorious." In human terms, this means converting chaos into data. Every insult, every disagreement, every betrayal becomes a source of intelligence. People reveal themselves when they're angry. Their tone, their pacing, their words, each one a trace of their mental architecture. Imagine an argument. One person shouts, the other listens. The one shouting burns energy, exposes emotion, shows where they are weak. The listener, calm and patient, observes and adjusts. That is calculation. The winner is not the louder, but the quieter. The world misunderstands calm as passivity. It is not. It's preparation. The fifth law, weaponize patience, is perhaps the cruelest advantage of all. The modern mind is addicted to immediacy, cannot wait without pain. The strategist, however, learns to draw strength from time itself. Waiting is not passive. It is positioning. Patience lets your opponents exhaust themselves trying to predict your move. It gives you the advantage of observation, the power to decide when pressure should be applied. Sun Tzu compared warfare to water. It takes the shape of its container, adapting fluidly to the enemy's weaknesses. Patience is this fluidity. In human terms, it's the art of letting things unfold while preparing to strike when the balance tilts in your favor. In negotiation, silence after an offer is power. In relationships, distance can reveal truth faster than confrontation. In leadership, waiting before deciding separates wisdom from impulse. Patience, at its peak, becomes psychological dominance. Because nothing terrifies an impulsive person more than someone who does not react. And when patience meets observation, you gain insight into predictability, the sixth law. Predictability is a silent confession of weakness. Tells the world who you are before you speak. Routine is comfort, but comfort is the graveyard of power. Sun Tzu's brilliance was in seeing that every predictable pattern can be exploited. He instructed his generals to be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. When you break your patterns, you break their expectations. The moment you become unreadable, you reclaim freedom. Predictability isn't just about schedule or habit. It's about reaction. If someone always expects you to respond with emotion, surprise them with silence. If they expect agreement, give calm defiance. The strategist wins by rewriting the rhythm of interaction. The seventh law, silence as domination, deepens this mastery. Silence creates psychological gravity. The one who talks least dictates the emotional pace. People interpret silence according to their own insecurities. Some see it as rejection, others as mystery, others as power. You need only hold your tongue to create tension in the mind of another. In social hierarchies, silence commands more attention than noise. It suggests knowledge, restraint, and self-sufficiency. When you stop explaining, defending, or arguing, you communicate something far stronger: certainty. Silence is not absence, it's dominance disguised as stillness. The loud seek validation, the silent already have it. Then there is destroying certainty, the eighth law. Every confident adversary depends on a mental map of how the world works. To win, you must distort that map. Introduce ambiguity. Break patterns of cause and effect. Keep them guessing, not chaotically but precisely. Sun Tzu's genius was psychological unpredictability. He understood that confusion paralyzes better than confrontation. Imagine two players in a game. One expects logic, the other uses rhythm. The logical one calculates moves. The rhythmic one feels timing. The logical player breaks down under unpredictability because their mind needs structure. In life, those who think they know you can't help but underestimate you. Confuse them just enough to make them doubt their conclusions. Doubt is a poison. It erodes clarity, corrodes confidence, and eventually consumes the will to fight. In conversation, you can do this subtly. Pause before answering. Smile when questioned. Redirect with curiosity instead of defense. Ambiguity creates depth, and depth in human perception equals power. The ninth law, use absence as presence, is often misunderstood as withdrawal, when in truth it is amplification through distance. When you step back, you force others to confront their dependency on your presence. Leaders who vanish after making impact become myths. Lovers who walk away at their peak of connection are remembered as irreplaceable. Absence stretches influence beyond proximity. It transforms you from memory into myth. Sun Tzu called it the invisible army, the power of unseen presence that still dictates movement. In modern warfare of minds, this manifests as detachment. You do not need to be everywhere to control everything. In fact, being everywhere weakens mystique. The strategist appears only when it counts. Absence is not disappearance, it's delayed impact. The 10th law crowns them all. Win before you begin. Preparation is invisible control. The strategist calculates every variable before the first move, predicting the reactions of others not because he's psychic, but because he's disciplined. Mental rehearsal is the ultimate weapon. Seeing every outcome in advance creates psychological immunity. When others panic, you execute. When others doubt, you already know. Sun Tzu understood that a battle fought without mental preparation is already lost. The same applies to life. If you approach negotiations, relationships, or ambitions without first mastering your inner dialogue, you'll crumble at the first sign of uncertainty. Winning before beginning means anticipating betrayal, rejection, resistance, and being unmoved by them. Victory is not a moment, it's a mindset rehearsed to the point of instinct. The strategist wins privately, long before anyone realizes a contest exists. When you connect these laws, a deeper truth emerges. The war is not with others, it's with yourself. The external battles are reflections of internal disarray. To control others' perception, you must first align your own. To manipulate emotion, you must master your own. To command silence, you must be comfortable within it. Mental warfare is not evil, it is evolution. It's the discipline to see through illusion, to act from clarity, to detach from noise. The ruthless laws are not about cruelty but control. Control over fear, impulse, and distraction. The modern world rewards noise and speed, but the strategist moves in reverse, quiet, slow, deliberate. He lets others rush into visibility while he builds power in invisibility. His calm is not weakness, it's calculation. His distance is not disinterest, it's dominance. Those who understand these laws don't shout for respect, they emanate it. They don't seek validation, they generate it through precision. And when the world finally realizes their strength, it's too late. The game has already been won in silence. Power is quiet when it is real. The loud are not strong, they are signaling strength to mask fear. The calm are not weak, they are calculating outcomes before they unfold. Mental warfare is not the art of harming others. It is the discipline of never being at their mercy. In the end, the true battlefield is not the land, not the office, not the conversation, it is the human mind. And Sun Tzu understood that whoever commands the mind commands the world. The first battlefield is self-deception. Most people lose wars before they begin because they lie to themselves. They lie about what they fear, what they want, and what they can endure. The strategist, however, is ruthless with truth. He does not dress his insecurities in excuses. He studies them. Every weakness is a doorway. Every fear reveals territory to be conquered. To practice mental warfare is to engage in relentless self-audit, to question your motives, your reactions, your triggers. You ask, why did I respond that way? What emotion moved me? Every answer you extract from yourself disarms another invisible enemy. Because until you can predict your own reactions, you remain predictable to others. This is where Sun Tzu's deeper message begins. Victory comes not from defeating others, but from mastering the self so completely that defeat becomes impossible. Once your emotions are no longer externalized, no one can use them. Once your silence becomes comfortable, no one can manipulate it. Once your identity is no longer fragile, no one can break it. Perception, the first law, evolves here into something higher. In the beginning, you used perception to control others. Now you use it to see yourself clearly. You begin to recognize that the same tactics that bend others can heal you. When you can see your fears, you can neutralize them. When you can observe your impulses without obeying them, you have already won the internal war. The same principle extends outward. Every manipulator you meet depends on emotional blindness. They thrive when others react without reflection. But once you become aware of your mental terrain, their influence evaporates. You see their patterns, their tone, timing, rhythm. You stop engaging and their power collapses. You become immune to provocation because you no longer fight ghosts. Emotional control, once a strategy, becomes peace. You understand that anger is a request for validation. Envy is a cry for direction. Fear is a call for preparation. Nothing in you moves without permission. People try to push you, but your mind has no handles anymore. You are no longer reactive, you are responsive. The difference defines mastery. Information control, too, transforms. You once guarded your secrets to dominate others. Now you guard them to preserve freedom. Privacy becomes sacred. You learn that mystery is not manipulation. It is protection of your mental energy. The strategist in modern life knows that oversharing is a form of surrender. Every word you speak gives away structure. Every confession gives away leverage. The wise speak selectively, letting silence do the heavy lifting. Conflict, which used to be a field for victory, now becomes a mirror. You don't need to win arguments, you only need to understand why they matter to you. Sun Tzu wrote, "He who knows himself and knows the enemy will not be imperiled in 100 battles." Knowing the enemy begins by understanding why you perceive them as one. Most of the time, conflict reveals what you haven't mastered within. Once you remove ego from the equation, most wars dissolve into noise. Patience, once a weapon, becomes a worldview. The more you study human behavior, the clearer it becomes that time exposes all things. You no longer rush outcomes, because you see that truth ripens naturally. What others chase with noise, you attract with stillness. The impatient scream for results. The disciplined sculpt them. In the silence of waiting, you gain foresight. And that foresight leads to the seventh law, predictability. But now it is turned inward. The strategist learns to disrupt his own patterns, to remain in motion mentally. Stagnation is defeat. Comfort is death disguised as peace. You must reinvent yourself strategically, shifting routines, evolving habits, changing the pace of your thinking. In this way, no external influence can anticipate your moves, because even you refuse to be fixed in form. Sun Tzu's idea of formlessness, be like water, was not metaphorical poetry. It was instruction. Water adapts, but it also erodes. It destroys not through force, but through persistence. Mental warfare requires this same adaptability. Flexibility with identity, fluidity with emotion, and precision with purpose. You are not one thing, you are 1,000 responses waiting for the correct moment. Then comes silence, the seventh law, which transforms from domination into wisdom. You once used silence to control others. Now you use it to protect your sanity. Silence becomes your laboratory for clarity. In quiet, you hear the noise of your own thoughts. You begin to recognize which ones belong to you and which are inherited from others, parents, teachers, society. The mind becomes clear like still water, and in that reflection, you see your true nature. From silence, you evolve into the art of destroying certainty, but now it's your own. The strategist begins to unlearn. The most dangerous illusion is believing you already know. Every belief becomes a hypothesis, every opinion a temporary state. You live in awareness, not attachment. The mind free of certainty is impossible to control because it cannot be cornered by ideology. This is what Sun Tzu meant when he said, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." Chaos exists only for those who need certainty. The strategist sees fluidity and acts accordingly. Absence, the ninth law, becomes spiritual here. You realize that stepping away is not abandonment. It's mastery of energy. The mind cannot regenerate in constant exposure. Strategic withdrawal is the art of resetting perception. Every disappearance is a recalibration. When you step back, Others project their assumptions onto your silence. That projection is free intelligence. You learn who fears you, who misses you, who plots against you. In stillness, you gather more data than you ever could in noise. And finally, win before you begin transforms into philosophy. Preparation is no longer about calculating outcomes. It's about embodying inevitability. You prepare your mind until nothing surprises it. You visualize not to fantasize, but to neutralize uncertainty. Every possible loss is rehearsed until fear dissolves. You understand that victory is not a moment but a state of being, a consequence of mastery, not luck. When you integrate all 10 laws, something profound happens. You stop competing. The game itself loses meaning. You no longer need to outsmart others, you simply move differently. The world becomes predictable because human behavior is predictable. Fear, greed, pride, validation, all of it cycles endlessly through minds that have never stopped to observe themselves. You watch the cycle, but you are not in it. In that moment, control shifts entirely. You don't dominate through manipulation. You lead through presence. Others begin to follow not because you force them, but because your stillness makes them feel safe. The strategist becomes a paradox. Feared by those who seek control, followed by those who seek truth. This is the final lesson Sun Tzu left behind. Not in words, but in silence. His philosophy of war was never about killing. It was about seeing. Seeing how the mind builds illusion, how fear becomes an army, how desire becomes an ambush. To master war is to master awareness. To see clearly is to end conflict before it starts. The greatest generals never fought. They ruled the battlefield before it existed. They understood that to control thought is to control action, and to control action is to shape destiny. The same rule applies today. Every argument, every negotiation, every decision is a subtle battle for control of perspective. Most fight blind, few fight prepared. Mental warfare is not about cruelty, it's about precision. You don't crush others, you dismantle their illusions. You don't break spirits, you expose the weakness that was already there. You fight not for dominance, but for discipline. Because once you understand these laws, your enemies disappear, not because you destroyed them, but because you stopped feeding them with reaction. In a world obsessed with attention, the strategist seeks direction. While others speak to be heard, he listens to understand. While they chase recognition, he cultivates invisibility. While they rush to act, he waits until the moment aligns perfectly. He is not superhuman, he is simply awake. The modern battlefield is the mind. Distracted, overwhelmed, constantly manipulated by noise. Whoever can remain calm, think clearly, and act decisively in this environment wields the rarest power of all: focus. That is what Sun Tzu meant by victory before war. The calm mind is the unconquerable fortress. The disciplined mind bends reality itself. The strategist who governs his own thoughts governs the invisible empire. And in that empire, there is no need for applause, for dominance, for vengeance. There is only clarity, quiet, unshakable clarity. The war will never end, because the mind will always create enemies to sharpen itself. But once you learn to command your inner army, your thoughts, your impulses, your fears, you walk through life untouchable. You will still face chaos, but you will no longer become it. That is the essence of Sun Tzu's final victory. Not destruction, but direction. Not conquest, but composure. Not domination of others, but dominion over the self. Those who master these 10 ruthless laws will never need to announce their power. The world will sense it, in the quiet precision of their words, in the control of their tone, in the patience of their movements. They will walk through storms untouched, because they are the storm itself, silent, inevitable, and unseen. If this story opened your mind, share it with someone who's still fighting the wrong battles, and tell me in the comments which of Sun Tzu's laws you'll master first. Subscribe to the channel for more hidden lessons in strategy, control, and mental power.